am talking about finances, budgeting, and buyer's remorse for the nomad life. Let's talk about it. I am almost 10 months into nomad life, and in this video, I'm talking about money. How much does it cost to live out of Airbnbs and hotels as a full-time nomad? So I hope that by shining a light on all of this, you could decide if the nomad life or something like it is right for you, especially as we're all kind of going more and more digital. First, I know that being a digital nomad, it does sound exotic. I'm carefree and I barely own a thing and I can travel on a dime. It's wonderful. But I did not make this decision to save money. Repeat, I did not make this decision to save money, which means nomad life, the way that I'm living it, is not cheap. And also, let me add that living super cheaply is not what I'm after. I know that some people are jobless, that they have financial situations that have required them to seek out a nomad life. I think the beautiful thing about being a nomad is that there are ways to scale up or scale down. But let's go back in time. I like to tell you guys a lot of stories. Prior to embarking on this journey in 2020, my mortgage payment was about $1,000. My house bills, several $100s on top of that. And then fast forward to today. The Airbnbs and the hotels I'm staying in, budget hotels usually, they're generally a little bit more than my former mortgage and bills, depending on where in the US I'm staying. Although Airbnbs do include things like water, electricity, internet, paper products, things like that, it's a little bit more to live temporarily in a furnished place. If you want some real numbers, my housing budget is about $2,000 a month. Honestly, that doesn't even cut it some months. I've had months in high tourism season or in a prime location, and it's hard for me to stomach that because it means less for dining out and adventuring and everything else. So fair to say it costs less to live the traditional life than to be a nomad. Especially when your traditional life, your costs are a lot more stable. I'm also making a little less than when I lived traditionally, and that was because I was renting out my second bedroom. And so I netted $800 to $1,000 a month by renting out a second room in my house. The nomad life is kind of costing me double, loss of profits and higher spending. So you're hearing this, you're probably thinking I have some seller's remorse from selling my house. Maybe I should have kept it. Should I have kept renting it out? I wonder sometimes. I do, but I can't predict the future. I made a judgment call with a decision, with the information I had at the time. It was the best decision I could have made. And I think that's all any of us can do in life, is just try to make smart decisions with the information at hand. And I also don't believe in regret. While I thought about money, while I ran the numbers, this was not about dollars and cents. This was about freedom, agility, adventure, and I am having that in spades. I'm spending a little bit more, I'm taking in a little bit less, but my quality of life and my emotional health mean more to me than money. And you should ask yourself, what is your quality of life and emotional health worth? And honestly, as a society, I don't even think we ask ourselves that question often enough. So to kind of get philosophical for a second, what is money for if it's not to fund the life that we want? It's not meant to sit there in a pile doing nothing. It's not meant to be dumped into depreciating junk. Ideally, it helps fund the life that you want, whether you choose to live it now or later. That's really my point, not just in this live, but everywhere. And every message I try to tell is live your life by design, not by default. So if you are not saving for the nomad life, that's fine. But we could talk about financial independence, whatever your goals might be. And by the way, don't take this as financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. But financial freedom is an important pursuit for me. And one, I would say, I've stayed single. Weddings and, let's be honest, divorces are very expensive. But two, also, I don't have kids. If I did have kids, I wouldn't pay for them into college and adulthood, young adulthood, because they have the benefit of time. Kids can drop a chunk of change into an investment account and let it compound for 40 years and literally be millionaires when they retire. That's the power of compounding. So, parents at 35, 45, 55, we don't have that luxury. People feel compelled to help their kids first before attending to their own retirement. And I think that's backwards. Put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. And also, this could be kind of a hint to my mom, but I think parents should enjoy their retirement. They should use their funds for retirement on themselves. In lieu of some large inheritance, I want my mom to enjoy her life and live without regrets. And maybe not like Lamborghini and infinity pool, enjoy your life, but mom, go to Europe and go to Australia and seriously enjoy it because time cannot be earned back. Money can. And I guess like the number one thing that I always keep a pulse on, no matter what my current financial or employment situation is, because these things fluctuate during our lifetimes. It's not always an upward trend. I try to live beneath my means. That just means practicing some good habits. I drive a used car that I paid cash for. I've had roommates, I've had renters, even like well into adulthood, I've had second gigs and seasonal gigs. It's just called hustling. When you get a raise, don't go crazy thinking that you finally made it. I save and invest first, and then I spend last. And all of that I kind of learned the hard way. I guess I just want to say, if you're struggling now, if you have a dream, just keep working at it. And remember that happiness isn't bought with material possessions, but the freedom to use your time. I invite you to check out my next video on the Nomad Life. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and follow for live updates. Cheers, everyone. Mwah. Love you guys.